Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Roxanne Karn, personal wardrobe stylist for women. And today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of a story time about an experience that I had recently with a client that was pretty atypical. So before we dive into things, I do want to invite you to please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel so that you get my videos as they're coming out in real time. And make sure you click that notification bell as well so you don't miss out there. But I wanted to share this video because when people think about going through the experience of working with a stylist, a lot of times it can bring up a lot of emotions centered on fear, uncertainty, doubt, quite frankly, a lot of emotions that women tend to carry when it comes, to their image day in and day out. And I'm used to this. I have these conversations with women every single day. And with the work that I do, I'm putting clothing on your body. I'm finding amazing pieces that work not only well for your physique, your best colors, but also your lifestyle and also where you want to go in life. And it's a very rewarding journey, and 99.99% of the time when it's done right. And my clients experience that personal transformation. I mean, that's literally what I'm in the business of doing. Transforming your wardrobe and transforming your life. So this was a slightly different situation with a really lovely client that I started working with very recently. And I'll preface this by saying that when I'm going through kind of the initial, I wouldn't even say vetting process, but more so kind of introduction process with prospective clients, I'm getting to the nitty-gritty of what is at heart at the issue. That's the style intensive that I offer, the complimentary 1-hour virtual session. And that's your opportunity to get to know me as well, understand how I came into the space and my overall approach. So I do this with everyone, and really it helps me get great insights into what's kind of most challenging for them right now, where they want to be, and then really trying to create a picture of what working together would look like, and then what success can be at the end. So it's a really fun way to kick things off for clients that are going to engage with me. So I usually go through that process and work through kind of challenges that they're experiencing as it may relate to, a lot of times, honestly, ladies, it's weight. A lot of times it's weight. Our bodies change over the years. We have children, we go through divorces, weight fluctuates with all of that. And there are other issues as well, but most prevalent, it has to do with weight and or body shape. So I've been doing this for almost 10 years. I'm in my 9th year right now. And in all those 10 years, I've only had, up until this experience, I've only had one experience with a client where pieces that I curated just were not working for her. And that was early on in my career as a stylist. But that was a completely different situation because the client was extremely picky. And looking back at it now, she was picky right out of the gate. I mean, she came to me with a laundry list of, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this, and that. Probably about 25 things, I kid you not. That should have been a signal to me at that time that, it would be a little bit more of a challenge styling her. And true to form, found amazing pieces for her, but she was saying no to it because it's like, oh, I forgot to tell you, I don't like this texture. Oh gosh, I don't even really like that color. So there were things that were beyond my control, and that was a really good takeaway and lesson learned from me, in that if I ever had a conversation with a prospective client again and she had a laundry list of things that she did not like, that were probably not going to be the best fit. My role is to come and bring fresh ideas and give you different things. But if you really are siloed into certain aesthetics that you like, which is okay, but you're not willing to kind of even play, going outside of the periphery a little bit within those, it's probably not going to work. So this particular situation with my most recent client was a little bit different in that she was very open with me about her concerns that she had about her body. It was a similar story. She's gained weight over the years. She actually was recently retired and no longer had a need for any of her corporate clothing. It just didn't fit for her anymore in terms of her lifestyle. And she was ready for something new. And what was really exciting for her is that she was going on almost a 2-month European getaway that she needed help styling for, and she had no clothes. So even though I was super busy, because we really were just coming off the heels right now of our extremely busy spring, summer season, I squeezed her in because I really did want her to help her. And she was just expressing like, Roxanne, I just have no clothes and I don't know what to do. So again, super sweet lady, extremely great rapport. And I will say that she didn't make herself open to different ideas. But what ended up happening was we ended up having 2 rounds of fittings. The reason why one fitting blended into the next is that there were delays logistically from one of the vendors that I leverage, a huge department store, really was not able to get the pieces out in time. And again, we're working in a short time frame and trying to get her prepped for her vacation. So it was really like a 2-week span that I had to work. And which is not the norm. It's usually like a 4-week span from when I first meet with the client for me to curate these specific pieces for her. So in this instance, it was a shorter time frame. I'm expediting shipping on everything to get things here. And through our first fitting, we were trying clothes on, and a lot of the feedback was, I don't like this on me. I don't like this on me. Sometimes some things may have come up in terms of the aesthetic, but not so much. I mean, it was vacation wear. She was going to be in Europe. So it wasn't like we were styling her for her everyday life. It was vacation wear. So we didn't really have a lot of wins. There were some things that we shortlisted, but we didn't have a lot of wins, which is something I'm very much used to when I'm styling my clients. And she had sent me a note afterward, a really sweet email. And she was actually apologizing to me. She was like, Roxanne, I'm so sorry. I just have these body issues that I just can't get past. And I really just don't like the way a lot of clothes look on me. And that's why I don't have any clothes right now, that were not work, related to her work from when she was prior to her retirement. But she kept an open mind, and I said, okay, I'm gonna have another round of shopping for you because I really wanna nail it for you. And I then proceeded to curate another batch of clothing because I really went far and wide because, again, I really wanted to nail it for her. A few days ago, she came in for the fitting, and we had clothes everywhere. I think we had 3 racks full of clothing that were like tight packly, okay? Clothes were like this right next to each other. We started going through the fitting process again. And ladies, it ended up being the same exact feedback. And we had a lot of wins in terms of how clothes actually looked on her body with this fitting, because I had much more to work with. And there were some things that looked spectacular on her that she was just like, no, I don't like it. And it kind of got to the point where she would just put it on and she would just say that she wouldn't like it, but there wouldn't be any feedback. Usually when I curate clothes for my clients, I usually first of all shop over budget so that I have enough pieces to help maximize their budget. And a lot of my clients actually end up going over budget because we just have so many wins. And because I had more pieces, there were so many things, again, that looked so great on her. And even my assistant, Rosa, was like, when we were debriefing after the fitting, she was like, oh my gosh, Roxanne, like this one particular skirt looked so good. I'm like, I know, I thought that was going to be a surefire win. And she said no. But as she was going through this process, and what I was going to say was that in terms of feedback, when I'm doing a fitting with a client, usually about 3 to 5% of the pieces don't work for whatever reason, right? It could be the fit, the color maybe isn't casting the way that I wanted it to. It may be something that the client is just not jamming with, and that's totally fine. But if it's something coming from her where she's like, Roxanne, I'm not feeling this, I will always ask the question why. Because I want to make sure that I don't introduce something like that to her again in the future. Or perhaps it's something like, oh, I feel like this is a little maybe too blousy. And I'll say, oh, well, how about if we got it tailored and got this, tucked in a little bit here? And I'll literally go behind her, hold it back, and she'll say, oh, wow, I didn't think about that. So I'm helping them work through their objections, and some of their objections are valid. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. That's fine. We put it in the return section. But if it's something that maybe she can kind of think beyond, because when I'm looking at clothes here in the now, and I'm also looking at the potential. My clients, a lot of times, they cannot see the potential. If it's not on their body perfect the first time around, they can't visualize what could be. So that's my role, is to help see that potential, help them see it. So it got to the point where she was just putting things on. She was just like, I don't like this. No, it's not me. I don't like the way it looks on me. And I'm telling you, ladies, when I have fittings with my clients, if there are things that do not look good on them, I'm usually the first to tell them. Or we will come out as she's coming from behind the dressing area. We lock eyes, and we may just like bust out laughing right immediately, because we're like, oh my God, no, this does not work. But in this instance, it was just like, no to everything. And when I started asking her why, she wasn't able to give me an answer. So we proceeded as well. And I will say through this was a very emotional experience for her, because she recently experienced some loss in her family, and she was going through just a lot of stuff. And this is going to be like a big vacation for her. She was really looking forward to it, but she had a lot that was going on in the background as well. And at one point, she didn't come to full tears, but she actually started crying a little bit. And she was feeling frustrated with herself, because she knew she was saying no to things, but she couldn't even really formulate or understand why the no was a no. And I felt crushed for her at that point, because I know what it feels like to feel kind of like exasperated, like nothing's working. You just kind of want to throw the towel in and give up. And this was one of the first times where or if not the first time, that I was not really able to kind of turn that around. So I listened, and I just let her kind of say what she said. And it wasn't even anything about the clothes. She was kind of just talking about what was in her head. And I let her express that. I let her live it. And my role is always to support. I come from a non-judgmental zone in everything that I do. And I'm not a stylist that's pushing clients into clothes and pushing clothes onto clients, right? If it's not working, it's not working. And when we wrapped things up toward the end, we went back to the pieces that we shortlisted, most of which were from the first fitting, and maybe a couple of pieces out of the second fitting. And she went home with those pieces. And so she had some things, but for the amount that was curated, it wasn't nearly enough for a 2-month vacation. Where this is going, what I want to say about this is that there are some instances where women are truly not ready for an experience like this journey. They're not ready for style. They're not ready to be styled. Now, I'm not saying they don't deserve to be styled. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of women, they've earned it. But I coin myself seriously as a style therapist, because I'm working with women in very vulnerable and intimate ways. I'm touching their bodies. I'm getting in to see the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And I have seen it all, okay? Even still, with those women, and most women that come to me with body issues, again, it's usually based off of weight and shape. 99.999% of the time, I'm getting them in these clothes that actually make them look so amazing. And they're like, oh my God, I love my body. I love my shape now that I know how to work it, what to do with it. That's the person that I can help in the here and now. With her particular situation, and I know these women are out there, because I have these conversations, they don't usually get through my door, because they usually kind of realize it before we even start going down that path, which is fine. But she is one where I think she thought genuinely that she was open for it. And she was open to seeing what I had, and she tried things on. I don't want people thinking like, oh, she came in here like this, was like, I hate this, I hate that. We were actually having a good time, but I think she was hoping that she would see something that would really make her feel good. But when it really came down to it, it's not a clothing issue. And I will tell you what, after her fitting, and I debriefed with my assistant, and then eventually a couple days later, we go into full reconciliation mode from an accounting standpoint. In the Excel spreadsheet, I looked at the number of pieces I curated for her, and I think it was 213 individual pieces, a mix of tops, pants, skirts, dresses, shorts, tank tops, even including some sportswear to play tennis and so on. Out of the 213 pieces, she kept 14. She kept 14. So I'm not lying when I'm telling you that maximum effort was put in to helping her find pieces. I am not lying when I said I went far and wide across many different retailers, brands, getting things expedited. A lot of the shopping that I typically do comes here to my home studio. It's very rare that I do in-person shopping. For her, I did some in-person shopping because of the time frame that we were working with. I needed to get my hands on as many, great quality pieces as possible. And that was a challenge given the size that I was working with, and also the aesthetic that we were going for. But I still was able to find some pieces in the brick and mortar stores. So when I looked at those numbers, I was actually astounded. Myself and my assistant, we're touching clothes and working with clothes day in and day out. We have racks of clothing that are coming in, getting fitting on clients, going home out in garments bags. All we're doing is touching. Because of that, I think I never really think about, well, how many items am I touching? What are we interacting with? We knew we had a lot, but I didn't know that I had 213 at the time. So it was a very eye-opening insight for me when I actually did see that there were over 200 pieces I got and she only kept, not even 15. That showed me that this had nothing to do with the clothes. It was all up here. And she literally told me that in person. She told me that in email and writing. But seeing it manifest in that second fitting especially, it was just like, there's some people that I may not be able to help in that moment. And it's not to say that I can't help them down the line, but there seriously sometimes is a physical mental block with women where they cannot see their beauty. They can't literally see what's in front of them. They're looking absolutely gorgeous and amazing. The clothes are fitting them, they're on point, but they do not see the beauty that they have. That, ladies, I can't fix, right? I can't fix. What is gonna be required for that is going to be some serious kind of internal work. Therapy. I think, therapy is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. I, at 2 points in my life, worked with a therapist to get through things that I needed to get through. And it was a beautiful thing because it helped shape and reshape and reframe the perspective that I have on things. And when you have something like this, it is so major that is tied to the essence of you. Because no matter what we do, we're always out there interacting with the people that we love, the people that we work with, the people that are in our community. We're always being seen. Image is important, but when you cannot see your true beauty, that's a huge roadblock in life. Because nothing that you ever put on will ever be good enough. And how do you get out of that rut? So, I just wanted to share this. I think, do I have a solve for this right now? No, apart from being supportive and listening and sharing ideas. What I want to do with her when she comes back from her vacation is to have a debrief, because she literally went to Europe. I think it was just the day after our second fitting, she was gone. So I want to have the opportunity to talk to her heart to heart about the situation and further understanding how she felt, sharing the perspective that I gained from our work together so far, and really have a conversation to see, is this something that we need to press pause on for a year or so? And if that's the route that we have to go, so be it. I'm not going anywhere, right? But I don't want her going through an emotional whirlpool in working with me. With clients, they have to be able to enjoy and live the experience, the transformation. It's just that. And I'm able to do it with most women. This was someone that I was not able to help. And I think there were other kind of determining factors that came along with it, that tight deadline. Usually we're not on such a fixed deadline. It was also a subset of a wardrobe. It wasn't an overall wardrobe. So there's a couple other things going on too, but the heart of it is that you have to be ready to experience something like this. If you have deep-seated body image issues that no matter what you put on, you feel like nothing looks good on you, we're probably not gonna be the best fit to help you get there. Because no matter what I come to the table with for you, it may not work either, right? What you need to do is really take a good hard look at why you're feeling that way. Get some help, get a therapist that can help you work through that. Because it's not insurmountable. It's something that you can actually work through and grow from. But when you get to a point where you're just like, okay, you know what? I'm ready for change. That's when we can get working together. So I wanted just to share this experience with you because I haven't experienced anything quite like this in the almost decade I've been doing this. And I think it's important to acknowledge that there are some women and people out there who carry this so deep, and I don't even think that they really realize it. So I want you, if you're one of these people, I really want you to kind of stop and assess and ask for help to get you to that better frame of mind where you are able to see how truly beautiful you are and what value you offer to the world. What I'd love to also invite you to do is, if you've experienced this in the past, or if you're even experiencing it right now, drop a comment in the comment section and tell me how you feel. Tell me how you work through it, or what steps you've taken to try to move through this on your own, or with hopefully a support system. I'm actually even inspired to maybe have like a YouTube live where we talk about this in real time and have women share their experiences and work through that. I think, again, it's really important to kind of bring to light that clothing is a tool to help show the world what we have to offer. But if you don't have that self-confidence within and know who you are on the inside and the true beauty that you have, no type of outfit or clothing is going to change that. So please, I invite you to drop some comments below. Share this video as well with people that you think that may be able to relate to this. Again, I don't have a magic solve for this, but I think it's so important to have the conversation. So thank you so much for listening. Do not forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.